EMR, PrognoSIGN eSignature. As discussed in our patient register legal documents video, Prognosis supports the electronic signature of appropriate documents. Now, in addition to the option of using an external signature pad as discussed there, in this video we're going to look at the built-in option, which does not require any external devices. Now, with regards to which method you prefer to use in your clinic, there is some system configuration that is required. Now, with PrognoSIGN, both the document and the signature reside internally to the chart. These are accessed, of course, through the legal documents icon, from the home page, from the patient schedule, or from the patient register. All legal documents are customizable, whether they are consent to treat forms, authorization to release protected health information, financial responsibility, or whatever is relevant within your practice. Now, in addition to the internal pathway, where the signature can be obtained directly in EMR, the patient can use the mouse or a stylus. There's also an external option available, which will route the signatures to an iPad. This provides document control as well as HIPAA compliance. Now, to demonstrate how PrognoSIGN works, you'll notice that I happen to be logged in here as my medical assistant, Connor Walsh. The eSignature functionality is available to any user who has typical rights to the patient demographics. I've got my patient Rodney Santiago highlighted here on my home page. So I'm just going to go ahead and click my scales of justice. And again, that icon does exist under patient register as well as on the schedule. Now, it's going to open up my legal documents user interface. By default, it opens to my Sign New tab. And you'll see here along the left-hand margin, I have several forms that have been programmed for eSignature. So once all of your documents have been compiled through engineering with the appropriate eSignature tags, this is where you will see them listed. To obtain the signature from your patient, then, you're going to do that one document at a time. Whichever document you have selected, you'll see the tooltip will pop up giving you the full name. Due to screen constraints, the name will be truncated in some instances. Whichever one you have focused, meaning it is selected in the blue highlight, you will have available here in the preview mode. Simply scroll down with your mouse using the orange scroll bar until you get to the yellow field that says click to sign. You simply click in there one time, which opens this blank signature area, and at that point you would hand your patient the mouse or the stylus. I'm simply using my mouse right now to sign my name, and I'm going to click OK. Once it has been accepted, it turns to green and indicates that it is signed. Now, if for some reason the signature messed up, you want to change it or you want to verify it, you simply click it again. If the patient would like to re-sign, then you can say clear, and then you can try to type it again. Now, you'll notice with my consent form here, I actually also require a witness signature, so I can scroll down and do the same thing. And now here my witness can also sign and click OK. So once you have obtained all the signatures on that document, you're going to want to go ahead and click Submit. And you will get the confirmation that it has now been attached to the patient's record, and you can obtain the next signature as appropriate. Now notice my Signed tab now shows account in red. If I click on my Signed tab, if I hover my mouse over, in addition to the name of the document, it tells me my category, as well as who signed it and on what date it was signed. Now, if I go back to my Sign New tab, you'll notice we also have a preview button. So before submitting, if you want to just verify that all the documents are correct, you can click Preview. And then you will see the actual signature instead of the Sign Here box. Again, once you are satisfied, you will simply click that Submit button. Now, that's for the internal signatures within Prognosis. If you want to use an iPad, where you're going to hand the patient in the lobby an iPad, or you have a kiosk, for instance, there is a direct correlation to the login user as well as the iPad. Now, the iPad will have a separate URL to your database, and it will be user specific, so that if there are multiple ones of you at the front desk checking in multiple people or obtaining signatures for more than one person at the same time, it will be specific to the user who is processing that patient. So for instance, I'm logged in here as Connor. So instead of giving the patient the mouse at my front desk, because they would like to see the document before they sign it, and I can't turn my terminal around, of course, to let them read it, so I've chosen to give them an iPad. then I can select my document by clicking the checkbox here on the left-hand margin rather than selecting the document. And then at the bottom, I will click the Get Signatures button. That in turn will give me a confirmation that the documents have been successfully sent for signature. Then, of course, I can hand the patient the iPad and they will see something similar to this. Notice it defaults to only those documents for Rodney Santiago which were just submitted. You'll see here that I am logged in as Connor. Now to sign each document, the patient will simply tap on it. When it appears on the screen, they will sign it, and then when all documents are signed, they will click the Submit button. That, of course, will then transfer them back to EMR, where they will appear on the Sign tab. So whether your patient is signing directly in the EMR using the mouse or the stylus, or you're handing them an external iPad and they are signing the signatures there, ultimately they will end up here under the Signed tab of your legal documents. So in review for our PrognoSIGN, it is an integrated feature that does not require any external hardware such as a signature pad. There is a system property that must be defined in order to use the function internally or the existing external process. The applicable documents must be configured with the Sign Here e-tags. You can use either the internal URL as we demonstrated where the patient signs directly into Prognosis, or a dedicated external URL to allow the patient to sign using an iPad. That concludes this video within the series. Please click the appropriate link below for your next step. If you'd like to take a quiz, you will receive your results in real time directly on the screen so that you can see how well you've done. If you answer incorrectly, the system will prompt you with the correct response. In addition, a confidential email will be sent to the education team to help us better serve you with our educational offerings. Second, advance to the next video within the series you're currently in. And finally, return to the video library main page. As always, feel free to contact us through the Resource Center or email with any additional questions or comments.